Eastland County Coaches Show is brought to you by Blake Fullenwalder Dodge. Go and check out their great deals this month. They got yearly runs of awesome deals there on a consistent basis. So go check them out in Eastland, Texas.
Sports fans, and welcome to this week's edition of the Eastland County Today Coaches Show. The Lobos and Mavericks remain undefeated in 3A Division II District 2 play after both teams easily handled their opponents Friday evening. Gorman Panthers continue their winning streak with a 30-point victory over Stephenville Faith. The Ranger Bulldogs started out strong, but eventually fell to the Santo Wildcats in their second district game. And the Rising Star Wildcats enjoyed an open week. Time to heal and to mend some bruises. They're getting ready for district play. Let's get to Friday night's action, shall we? The Cisco Lobos easily defeated the Millsap Bulldogs 50-0 to move their district record to 4 wins, 0 losses. The defense of the Lobos have not allowed a touchdown in 10 quarters. That's 2 games plus a half game. This is their second straight shutout. Let's see what Coach West had to say.
Coach West, thanks for your time this morning. Let's talk about Friday evening. You got a good win there at Millsap. In fact, shutout win against the Bulldogs. Tell us what you saw from the sideline, how you saw your Lobos perform.
Well, we executed just unbelievably offensively and defensively ran to the ball just like what our expectations are. Had very few misalignments. Our offensive line got after them and actually got a lot, I thought, improved. Although it was playing Millsap and wouldn't consider them a great football team, I felt like our O-line got some great work out of it. They did their double teams, their combos were great. I thought we finished blocks extremely well and gave some pretty big holes for our running backs to run through all night long.
All right, Coach, tell us a little bit about your defense. I noticed that, of course, this was a shutout. Last week, Nakona shutout, all the way back to the Henrietta game. 10 quarters of no touchdown football. Good, your defensive line playing outstanding. Your secondary playing well. Tell us about your defense, Coach.
Oh, they are playing. They're figuring it out, and that was something early in the year that Coach Brunson was pulling his hair out. Is just doing your job, only your job, getting lined up correctly is about half the problem, and all those things we feel like are fixed for the most part, and now it's just play football, run to the ball, and make plays, and that's what they've done for the last 10 quarters, and of course, you know, we're playing some competition. The competition is going to get a whole lot better, and we're fully aware of that. People are going to get in our end zone, but we have improved vastly over the last 3 weeks.
All right, Coach. This week we got the City View Mustangs here in Cisco. Tell us what you've seen so far. I know it's early, but tell us what you've seen so far out of City View and how they will challenge your Lobos this Friday.
City View's probably got one of the better running backs in the area. I mean, he was good last year, and he's back. He's a big senior. He's got great speed. He's powerful. Just all the things and qualities you'd want out of a running back, he's got. He doesn't have a ton of help. The quarterback, however, is pretty greasy too and does a great job executing that offense. And they are pretty dangerous on the offensive end of the ball. They've struggled defensively. Stopping people has been their biggest problem. But they're one of those teams that can get up on you in a hurry and not look back. We certainly need to score. We need some good things to happen early against City View, and you get a little different team at times. But hopefully that will happen on Friday night, and we can get up early and find a way to slow down that good running back and the quarterback also. Just pretty talented.
The Lobos will host Wichita Falls City View this Friday evening, Chesley Field, 7:30. Let's now talk about the Eastland Mavericks. The Mavericks struggled Friday night, but overcame several adversities in a 34-14 victory over the Holiday Eagles. The win moves their district record to 4 wins and 0 losses as well. Josh Gosnell had another wonderful evening with 250 total yards. Brant Bailey caught a touchdown pass, also caught 5 other passes for a total of 54 yards. Let's see what Coach Watkins had to say.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time this morning. You got a good victory after some unfortunate circumstances in your game against Holiday. You come away with a 20-point win. Tell us what you saw from the sideline against the Eagles.
Well, like I said, we're fortunate to get the win and stay undefeated in district. Very, very sloppy game and very uncharacteristic of us as the Mavericks. And we've talked about it, and we will fix it. We got to fix it if we're going to beat a really good team this week in Henrietta. 13 penalties, and you're not going to beat a really good football team. I was glad that we found a way to overcome it and get the win, but stuff that's got to be fixed.
Coach, you referenced Henrietta this week. They are probably the third best team in the district. Tell us what you see from Henrietta and how they're going to challenge you this week.
Oh, Henrietta's got a really good football team, and they play extremely hard. Defensively, they're going to give you every look there is, stunt every single play, and just try and cause havoc. And we're going to have to do a great job communicating up front and getting that all figured out. Offensively, they got a lot of weapons, and they lined up against Jacksboro and ran it almost every single play. I believe they threw the ball 4 times, and that's what they're good at, is lining up and running it. And they've got number 10 and 24 and 5 and 11. They got a bunch of guys that can do some things to hurt you, and so we're going to have to get lined up. And we played good defense last week. We got to do that again and get to the ball, and we got to find a way to force some turnovers.
All right. Thanks, Coach Watkins. The Mavericks travel to Henrietta this Friday evening. Kickoff is 7:30. Let's travel down to Gorman now, where the Panthers moved their overall record to 8 wins, no losses, with a 76-46 victory over Stephenville Faith. It's the same Stephenville Faith team that they played early in the year and only won by 3 points. Ismail Herrera had another wonderful evening, over 200 yards rushing. Big guys, Ricardo Oliveira and Danny Limon caught 2 touchdowns apiece, getting the Panther crowd riled up. Let's see what Coach Williamson had to say.
Coach Williamson, thanks for your time this Monday morning, spending with us. You got a good victory again Friday evening. You're now 8-0 on this historic first year for Gorman 6-man play. Tell us about your game with Stephenville Faith. First game, you won by 3. This time you win by 30. Tell us how the boys played Friday evening.
Boys, we played well. We came out and stalled the first series, but we started moving the ball. Our second series got a score. I think the score was 8-8 at the end of the first quarter, which in 6-man football that's pretty low. But boys got it together, and we started rattling around and moving the football pretty well in the second quarter and third quarter, and the rest of the game. And Nino had a big night for us again. Ismail, he rushed for 208 yards. He scored a couple of touchdowns, and we had multiple kids score a couple of touchdowns. So each kid had a hand in on the offensive side. Our big boy Ricardo Alvera, he had a couple of touchdowns. Our other big boy Danny Limon had a couple of touchdowns. We had our other running back Jose Maldonado. He ended up having 2 touchdowns. So there was a lot of hands in the scoring. Defensively, the boys did real well, trying to contain the quarterback from Stephenville Faith. Kid's got a strong arm. He's big and he run the ball well. But the boys, for the most part, shut him down most of the night. And he was not on like he was in the first game as far as completing the passes and getting open field and running. Boys played real well. Coach Garrett and Coach Guthrie did a great job. preparing the defense and making adjustments in the game to stop them and get the offense back on the field so we can move the ball down the field and score.
I imagine big guys don't get to score very much, and I imagine they were pretty excited.
All year long, it seems like one of our big boys, and big boy, 6 foot, 315 pounds, catches a ball out in the flat and he turns it upfield. The crowd erupts, and it's something that you don't get to see in 11-man football. And it seems like each time one of our big boys do score, the crowd it seems to get so much louder, and it makes it fun for everybody. Not just those running backs coming out of the backfield, but it brings some excitement, a different type of excitement to the game.
Right. All right, Coach, this Saturday afternoon, I believe. Saturday is the game day this week. You take on Fayette County Sports Association. Tell us a little bit about that. You were telling me earlier, and kind of what you expect from them this Saturday evening.
Fayette County is I guess you could call it a club team that is made up of Dime Box ISD and Fayetteville ISD down around the Brenham area. They are trying to get the 6-man game started, and they've combined the two schools since both the schools do not offer football. They're trying to get the communities interested in playing 6-man. Fayette has struggled most of the year. Coach Harvey is doing what he can, to keep the kids interested and the parents interested. It's difficult. It's tough for a coach to be able to do that when you're on the losing end of it. As far as we don't have any film on them, and as far as what we've got to stop. I'm through text messages and telephone calls. Offensively, what they're doing, and defensively, what they're doing is, something we've seen all year long. They run a little bit of spread, they run a little bit of tight, and I think we've seen just about every defense that the 6-man game has to offer. So I don't see it to be a big challenge for us, but you never know. You never know on any given day. A team that gets on and has some success can create some problems for you. So, we're not going to go in this game taking it lightly. We're going to do what we got to do to prepare and, try to go out there and get that 9th victory of the season.
Right. Hey, Coach.
Thanks, Coach Williamson. The Panthers take on Fayette County Sports Association this Saturday in Jonesboro. Kickoff is 4 p.m. Let's now go over to the Ranger, where the Ranger Bulldogs had a good first half against Santo, but the Wildcats pulled away late with a 56-12 victory over Ranger. Quarterback Jeffrey Beatty had a good game, rushing for over 100 yards. Let's see what Coach Ramsey had to say.
All right, Coach Ramsey, thanks for your time this morning. Let's talk about Friday evening. Friday you go to Santo, and you play with them first quarter. In fact, you're up. And then they score, and as you say, the wheels just kind of came unwound after that. Give us your impression of what you saw from the sideline Friday evening from your Bulldogs.
Like you said, we started off well. We had a good opening kickoff, run the ball back pretty good, and he almost returned it for a touchdown. He got down there pretty good. Atlanta's done that for us all year. He's usually a pretty good threat on our kickoff return, and some schools want him kicking the ball because he does have a little kick in him when he gets loose and has a chance to score. But we got down there close and put together a little drive and scored on our first drive, and that's big for our kids. And then next series we get to football, we have another decent kickoff return, and we drive down and we punch it in again our second drive. So our first two drives, we put the ball in the end zone, and that's big for our kids. They're they're working hard trying to learn how to win, and doing those type of things, starting a football game off for the second week in a row, because we started off real good against Cross Plains as well, and then just kind of fell apart a little bit there in the second half. But and I feel that's kind of what happened to us against Santo. Is we kind of started stumbling a little bit, and then the wheels kind of fell off, like you said.
Talk a little bit about your quarterback, Coach. You mentioned that Beatty had a good game, running and passing. Tell us a little bit about your quarterback.
Jeffrey's a junior. He's without a doubt, the leader on our football team. He never misses a practice, and I mean he's never has missed a practice since I've been here. And he's always here. He always works hard. There's no excuses, and he tries to hold his teammates accountable. Sometimes they don't like it, but he'll try to keep them accountable. And he works hard, does a good job, and he's I want to say he's probably sitting about 550, maybe 600 yards rushing for the year. He really works hard. He's done a good job, and I'm proud of him. I'm proud of his effort, and maybe he'll bleed off on some of these other guys a little bit to help us out a little bit.
All right, Coach. This Friday evening, your third district game features you against the Baird Bears. What do you know about Baird? What have you seen, and how are they going to challenge the Bulldogs this Friday evening?
Well, they've graduated their quarterback from last year, and he was really stinking good. But they've got another quarterback in there now that's it's same version of the last year's quarterback. Obviously not as experienced. He's younger, but the same type of player. He likes to run the football. He's athletic. He'll throw the football a little bit, but he really wants to run the football. So we've got to be able to contain him a little bit. Got to be able to tackle. And you try to slow him down. If you can slow him down offensively, you can slow down their offense.
The Bulldogs will take on the Baird Bears this Friday evening in Baird for their third district game. Kickoff is 7:30 this Friday for the Bulldogs. Rising Star enjoyed an open week this past week. They prepared for their district season, which opens this week at Panther Creek. Let's see what Coach Callaway had to say.
All right, Coach Callaway, thanks for your time this morning. Your boys had an open week this past Friday. We talked a little bit about that last week. Tell us if you got some things done, some things accomplished that you wanted to. You said you went and saw, I believe, Panther Creek and Brooksmith. Tell us just a little bit about last week and how you went about preparing your boys.
Well, we definitely took some time to kind of heal up the bumps and bruises. We had some turf burns we've been working on for a while since basically week one. So it gave us a week to kind of stay off the ground and keep from tearing those scabs up and stuff like that. So it gives us a chance just to relax, sit back, and we had a little bit of fun in practices last week. It wasn't so intense. We were able to focus on special teams a little bit more, which is kind of a big deal in six-man football, if you can kick extra points or not. So we're really trying to focus on that and get better at those things. The kids, I think, it's just a good chance for us to take a break, step back, take a deep breath, and get ready for what's about to happen. And with district play coming up, we've got to be focused on and get on all cylinders for that. And the boys knew last week was going to be kind of a slow go week and just working towards this week when we knew preparation was going to come in and start getting ready for this first district ball game.
Right, and mentioning the first district game, you do take on Panther Creek, the Panthers this week. Tell us a little bit about what you know about Panther Creek and how they're going to challenge the Wildcats this Friday evening.
Well, the biggest thing is going to be they're going to try to run it. I mean, that's pretty much their expertise is going to be running the football. They have a freshman running back. He's extremely fast in the open field. Watched them play Brooksmith on Friday, and he broke, I think, almost every touchdown they scored was pretty much him in the open field, breaking tackles and then taking off. So we're going to have to keep him contained. They're not really great at their passing attack. Our whole objective will be try to get them into that, to make them throw the ball. So if we can get them in third, fourth, and long situation where they have to put the ball in the air, that'd be good for us. Our kids their offense is complex, so we're going to work on just basically getting to where we're supposed to be this week and understand if we can keep that kid contained, then we're going to be in good shape. But that's going to be the biggest objective, is to keep that number 27, their freshman running back, in the box. Don't let him get outside, don't let him get in the open field. If we can do that, I think we'll be really successful this week.
Thanks, Coach Callaway. The Wildcats travel to Panther Creek to take on the Panthers this Friday evening for their first district outing. Kickoff is 7:30. Briefly, let me share with you some other sports news from Eastland County. In football, the Cisco College Wranglers lost a close game to the Northeastern Oklahoma A&M Golden Norsemen this past Saturday evening. The Wranglers had a small lead going into the fourth quarter, but the Golden Norsemen were able to pull away for the victory. In volleyball news, both the Ranger Lady Bulldogs and the Gorman Lady Panthers are fighting for a playoff position with just 2 to 3 games left in the regular season. Crucial games for the Lady Panthers, Lady Bulldogs. They need victories. In soccer news, college soccer news, the Region 5 end-of-year tourney is right around the corner. It begins next week over at Chesley Field in Cisco. Both Cisco College girls and Ranger College boys and girls will be participating in those tournaments. And finally, cross country. It's now time for cross country region. Both the Cisco boys and girls teams qualified for region. Also, the Eastland boys, the 2 Eastland varsity boys qualified for region. They will be running in Lubbock, Texas at May Simmons Park this Monday to see if anyone can qualify for state cross country. This has been Eastland County Today Sports Show. I am Stephen Forrester, your sports editor. Have a wonderful week. Make some wonderful memories. God bless you. We'll see you next time.